Well, it's Saturday, it's the 3rd of September 2022, and where are we? We're at Maver Dynamite Hayfield Lakes. It can only mean one thing: match this final. So welcome to match this. The draw's already been done. As you can see, the spectators are starting to gather in to watch their favourite anglers on the bank. We've done that all important draw, so let's go and check out the draw board and see who I think are going to be the runners and riders in this year's 2022 final, because he's going to be walking away with a cheque for £50,000 to probably just about pay his electric bill, but 50 grand, it's that cheque, it's that trophy, it's that champion. Let's see where they've got. Well, the draw's been done. We did it at 9 o'clock. The anglers are round and about setting up on the lake, and here you have it, our famous match this draw board. So I'm just going to talk you through a few of the pegs, a few of the anglers, and a few of the so-called fancy pegs where I think this match could be won from. There's one thing about Hayfield Lakes: these fish move about, they frequent different areas, you never quite know where they're going to be. We've seen a couple of big balls of fish on Little Adams, but they seem to have moved because the wind's getting up, and same on Big Adams. It'll not be affected as much by wind, but then fish will move round. So let me pick out a few good areas where I think some fish might be caught today. Peg 2, Jamie Hughes. Need I say any more about that man? He's a 3 times fish oil champion. He's won match this before. Could he be the first angler to put his name on our trophy twice? Peg 2. It's not the most fancied areas, but he has got a lot of room in that corner over there on Little Adams. We move further round. Peg 3, Peg 4. Jimmy Brooks, he's drawn an M peg on that bank. I know he weren't too happy when he drew his peg, but again, that peg's got a little bit of room, and a lot of money's already gone on Jimmy. Then we come further round. Sam Brown, our Maver sponsored angler, is on the bottom bank. 2 Maver sponsored anglers drawn together, Sam and Ben, so they'll be having a private wager between themselves, no doubt. I don't think them pegs are going to be capable enough of winning, but both them anglers can catch large amounts of fish. And then we move on to the spit here on Little Adams. Those 3 pegs, permanent pegs, 29, 31, 33, which is 8, 9 and 10. You've got Jack Danby, Mark Roger and Andy Power. The Power himself, he's drawn the peg there at the side of the bridge. Won more matches on Little Adams than any single peg on that entire lake. So you put a man like him on that peg, it could be curtains for the rest of them. I do think he has got a massive, massive chance there, Andy Power. Then, from peg 11, we're moving across onto Big Adams. Now, these 3 pegs here, 11, 12 and 13, 3 really good pegs. Backing on to Little Adams, up the spit. This is the peg, peg 11, Luke Bamford. Again, that peg has won so many matches on Big Adams. It could be dangerous. He'll probably fish paste, that's what Luke does. He'll try and make it work, and he'll make it work for himself. But young Zach, 21-year-old, is our youngest angler in the final. He'll not be fazed by that. And then Jack Gill. Jack, big weight specialist, and he's drawn a peg 39, what's more than capable of catching a lot of fish. Right, from these pegs further down, we've got 5 pegs on what we call the tone bank. So you've got Lee, which is an end peg, always got a chance. He's got to hope some fish come down his margins there. Stephen Forster, local lad, what more can I say? Permanent peg 47. Steve's been up, he's practised a couple of times. Lots and lots of money gone on Stephen. Shy lad, current UK champion, just won that title last week. Brilliant, brilliant. I love Stephen to bits, he's a brilliant angler. Right, so we've got, I'm just trying to work this out here. So then we move along. Right, then we move across onto the point. The peg everybody wanted, peg 66. And that privilege falls to Robert Home. Now, Robert's just getting used to this carp fishing. He's very much an F1 type angler, but he's put a lot of time in on these lakes and has been catching a lot of fish. So 66, permanent peg 66, peg 19, Rob Home, brilliant chance I think. But who's he got at side in him? The old stalwart himself, my fishing dad, Steve Cook, peg 20, permanent peg 68. That was the peg Andy Bennett qualified here to fish this final, and Cookie's drawn it. Don't put Cookie on fish, he's dangerous. He might be getting old, and not like me saying that, he won't like me getting old, but he can still catch some fish, can Cookie. So definite danger man there. Then we move into Dead Man's Bay. 2 youngsters in Dead Man's Bay. We've got Paul Holland and Christian Jones. They really didn't want to draw there, but there's one thing I can say about that bay. If the fish feed, they're big. You don't need many bites, and they are big, and yeah, you can be from 0 to hero in no time by catching them fish short, and they've both got 2 really, really good margin pegs. Brings us to our last 2 pegs, and I don't know if we can just pan. They're just here in front of us, just round this corner, and we've got 2 of probably the best 2 anglers. A in Andy Bennett, bagger himself, and Paul Wright, local lad Paul. He knows this venue like the back of his hand. He knows the carp by name. They know him by name. End peg there, 81, peg 25. What a peg. He couldn't have asked for a better draw. If I'd have asked him this morning what peg he wanted to draw, he'd have said permanent peg 81, which is 25. But he's going to have his work cut out. That man Bennett is at side of him. He's twice Fishermania champion. He wants his name on this trophy. So there's your runners and riders. We're going to get round now and interview 1 or 2 of them on the bank before the match gets underway at 12 o'clock. Right, well, we round at a few pegs. We said we were going to interview a few anglers. We can't ever have a match this final without interviewing this man. Jamie Hughes.
Morning, Andy. How are you, mate?
I'm really good, mate. Peg 9. Probably not the most favourite of areas, but been a lot of foam here recently.
Yeah, there's been some fish. A lot of fish here this morning when we first got here, wasn't there? It just always seems steadier for bite shallow, and I think it's going to be a shallow match.
Well, Jamie thinks it's going to be a shallow match. I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of fish feed on bottom today, Jamie.
I hope so. The pressure's changed, hasn't it? A bit lower. I hope you're right, but I don't know.
So, you're confident?
I am. I'm happy. If it's a nice low match, 110, 120, I feel you've got a chance on 20 out of 25 pegs, haven't you? It's a right good one, and I love the unknown. Moving it to a lake that none of us have fished in this pressure before. It's different, isn't it? It adds to the excitement.
Well, you know what we like, Jamie? We like to try and change it up and make it a bit better. So, there's Jamie. Good luck, mate. I hope he's going to be the first angler to put his name on the trophy twice. But there's another 24 anglers here which are hoping to stop him doing that. Good luck, Jamie. See you soon. So we've moved across to Big Adams. I was trying to pick the pegs out this morning where I thought there were possibly going to be a load of fish caught. We have no other than Andy Bennett. Morning, Andy.
How you doing, Andy?
I'm really good. Are you happy with your draw?
Honestly, no, I feel like they're just to me right a little bit. I did well off this peg the other week. I had £150, but there was no one in that bay, which I think is going to push them out a little bit more. So I'd have been happy 1 to me right. I was third off that the other day. But you don't know. You could easily frame from here, do you know what I mean? It just depends how the fish behave on the day. Personally, I think my favourite now would be Luke Bamford. That's the peg I would have picked if I could have picked one.
Luke Bamford, 35. We called righty on the next peg. So, no, I've never seen you not confident beforehand.
I know how to catch them. I've been up here and I've been catching them. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. But you just don't know how it's going to pan out. I know Mick Bull's a good angler, and when I was there the other day, I had £120. Mick struggled here. I just sort of cut him off a little bit, and I think Paul might do the same to me today. So you never know, mate. Wind might turn, something might happen. Just hope these lot behind me just keep down a little bit.
We'll keep them down. Well, you've got your crowd here. Well, just you know, they do get a bit leery, mate, at times. So yeah, all part of it. There you go. And he's not obviously confident. I quite fancied this peg, to be fair, and if anybody can catch fish, this man can, because he's an absolute star, and he deserves his name on Match's trophy. So good luck, Andy. Good luck, mate. Right, we'll go on to the next. Moved a bit further on, right next to Andy Bennett. Called it up there. Local lad Paul Wright. Paul, how are we, mate?
Right,
you've got to be 100% unbelievably delighted with this peg.
Very.
He's a man of few words, is Paul, but when it comes to catching fish, he is like an absolute assassin and knows every one of these carp by name here. So, Paul, you couldn't have asked for a better draw than this today.
No, not today. It's like 35s of the side at bridge, and there's quite a few fish here already.
Fred come and said hello there to you. Look.
Yeah. Just wait for Colin.
So, I'm not gonna go into too much detail about Hayfield, but you've, like I say, you must be ultra confident here.
They like resident fish as well, what live here, so should be steady away.
Steady away. Well, is it going to be steady away for Paul, or is it going to be super away for him, and is he going to walk away with 50 grand? We'll only know at 5 o'clock. Well, good luck, Paul.
Cheers, pal.
Good luck. Right, away we go.
Thank you.
Well, no interview would be complete without our serial finalist, Andy Power. Another final hand, another day, another dollar for you.
Yeah, give it a go. Nice looking peg, so it's all looking good.
Well, what I must say, Andy, is peg 33 on Little Adams is probably the most form peg on this entire lake. And as soon as you drew it, I thought, oh dear, that could be all over. But are you fancying it?
I want it to be on the other lake, but for this lake and maybe winning the section, I'm happy. But ideally, I want it to be on the other lake.
You're not a section winner, you mate. You don't win sections, you just win finals.
Times are hard. We've got to win sections now.
Well, just to pay for your petrol or the electric and things like that. Oh, I don't know. Like I said, it's won lots and lots of pegs. It's won lots and lots of matches. This peg hand, and I think Mr. Power himself will be dangerous, and he's underestimating himself on this peg. So I'm going to wish you good luck, Andy.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you, mate. Hopefully, you might be the person to put your name on the trophy twice.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Nice. We'll soon see. We'll see what the day has in store for Andy Power. It's made me laugh, Andy. I can't believe it. Well, catch up with you at another one of the anglers. Well, no venue or even match would be complete without having some Maver-sponsored anglers. And to make things even easier for us, they've drawn next to one another. Sam and Ben. Sam?
Yep.
Yeah, Ben.
Hello, mate.
Good morning. So, right, I personally don't think you've drawn the best of pegs here. So, Sam, I'll come to you first, and you can tell me, what your thoughts on it all.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, it wasn't my first choice. Ideally, I wanted to be on Big Adams. I've been on there on the practices. There seem to be bigger weights on there. But looking at the pegs today, I mean, they look a lot better than I thought it would. We've all got a bit of room, nice edges as well. There's plenty of fish moving, as you can see behind us. So yeah, I quietly fancy it. Well,
there's one thing about Sam, I will tell you. He never draws the best of pegs, but he always turns them into good ones. So, yeah, good luck, Sam. Right, Ben?
Well, similar to Sam, mate. Everyone says you're on the wrong lake out of the two, but if you just turn up blind, the wind's blowing in, we've got room, carp fishing, you'd fancy it. So, yeah, can't complain.
Yeah, well, looking down this corner, Ben, you've got a bit of scum what's blowing into the corner. You've both got lots and lots of room down your edges. So, let's hope a margin approach turns it on for these guys, and we'll see. 3, 2. Well, there we have it. Bob's blown his horn. The match is underway now. I'm joined here by Stephen Bellion on stage. Steve, what do you reckon so far?
Well, it's shaping up to be a fantastic event. We've spoken to a lot of the spectators this morning and a lot of the anglers where they've drawn, and do you know what? I really can't call it, mate. What about you?
Well, I think we said it yesterday, Steve, didn't we? That we can't actually call where the match is going to be won. I think Paul Wright, local lad, knows every fish by its own name in this lake. We can see him looking at this stage down here. He's drawn an absolutely fantastic peg. But you're fancying Jamie Hughes over here, aren't you?
Yeah, there's an outsider chance on Little Adams. Jamie Hughes, to me, he had a decent ball of fish in front of him at the start of the match, and for me, Andy Power is one definitely to watch. Luke Bamford, Bennett, as you say, Paul Wright as well on the informed peg. So I think it's going to be a real strong, heated battle towards the end.
Yeah, just a bit. I'm going to say it. I've had a little flutter on Paul. I've had a flutter on Powers as well. Two brilliant anglers on two brilliant pegs. But I think what's going to be interesting today is some of the tactics these guys use. We can't call whether it's going to. I think there's going to be a lot of shallow fishing done.
Yeah.
But I don't think as the match progresses, there's going to be as many shallow fish as what people think.
So if you were fishing this final today, obviously, what would be your go-to method? What would be your match-winning method today, Andy?
Well, I do a lot of waggler fishing on here. Waggler, bomb, method, feed, that is my strength. And I said to people when they come in here, fish to your strengths. But the feeding habits change of the fish on this lake. As we're into September now, with damp nights, colder weather, colder nights, and then fish start to. I'm already seeing a fish getting caught over there. Look.
And Jamie's got one on
yeah,
as well.
Jamie's got one on. Already this fish being caught, which is brilliant. But I'd like to think there's a lot more fish on the bottom than what some of these anglers think. So I think you'll have to do a few tactics, and that'll make the 2022 champion, I think.
No, definitely looking around the lake. I mean, it's very, very diverse what people are actually doing. You've got the shallow assassins out in force, slapping the pole around, and then you've got some people sitting there on the short lines. You've got a couple of people fishing the bomb and pellet. Jamie's just landed a nice fish, looks to be about eight or 9 pounds. So that's a great start for him.
Yeah, great start. Yeah.
I've heard Zach as well on what peg's Zach on?
Zach Brown.
Yeah, Zach Brown.
Yeah, he's over.
It's peg 3. Yeah.
Three.
Zach Brown on peg 3 has had an early fish as well, so it's a great start. And as I say, it's going to shaping up to being an absolutely fantastic final.
Right, there you see Jamie Hughes playing a fish now. Very, very early in this match, and this is definitely his second fish what Jamie's playing. And it looks like he's been fishing short. I figured Jamie would start a tactic like that. He's going to start short and then he's going to progress to his other lines, whether it be shallow or on the deck long. But he started short, looking for a couple of early fish, and he's got him. He's nailed him. He's nailed one. Let's see if he gets this one in. Here we go, Andy Power. Don't take him long. Somebody switch on the power and away he goes. That's Andy's first fish. I knew it wouldn't be long before Andy be making a charge. And there we go. Slips it in the net. Certainly a 5-6 pound fish for Andy. Right, there we go. He's got it. Jamie Hughes puts his net under the second fish for him. Looks another decent fish. That's got to be all the 6 or 7 pounds. So that puts Jamie in quite a little bit of an early charge as we start. I'm going to talk you through a few of the anglers on what's been caught and who's been catching and who we think the current leaders are at this stage. Right, this first bank, peg 2, Jamie Hughes. Started off, caught a few carp, shallow. He's also caught a couple, I think, on the bomb. But sudden tactical change from the maestro himself, and he's just started to fish for silverfish. Quite close in. He's catching roach, he's catching perch, odd small carp. I know he did it the other day on a practice match and caught 20 pounds in roughly half an hour. So, you know, if he can keep going at that rate before these carp potentially switch back on later for him, he's putting something in his keep net. So he has currently got, I reckon, about £45. So he is in the mix for this 50 grand prize fund. I know Mick Bull, he's side of him on peg 1, he's concentrating on what he's doing best, what he does best, should we say, and that's fishing a bomb and a waggler. And he has had some carp, Mick. He's certainly not arting it by any stretch of the imagination, but he's doing it what he does best by fishing a bomb down on that bank. Then we move across to the bank on Little Adams. 3 anglers along there. You've got Zach Brown, who was a winner in 2013. He has caught 4 or 5 carp. I reckon he's got 35 pounds. So again, he's still in the race with what he's got. And then you've got Jimmy Brooks. Jimmy Brooks out on the end. He's on peg number 5. Jimmy has got, I think, in the region of £50. Now, he's caught some shallow, he's caught some on a waggler. We've been round and done a live earlier, and we've seen him catch a couple of carp. So Jimmy is well in the race. But it's a ding-dong battle between him on peg 5 and peg 6 on the Tone Bank, Sam Brown. Sam Brown, we think, is our current leader, and I reckon he has got £50. And he's playing a fish now. He's actually playing a fish now while we're doing this. So that's another fish for Sam. I don't know whether he's had any more since that 50. It's so hard. This fish getting caught all over, so it's really, really hard to call. But he is playing a fish now. Same thing again with Sam. Subtle changes. Started short, then caught a few fish shallow, and he's the only person I have seen on this entire bank that has fished a method feeder. He's fished a method feeder over where he's been pinging 8mm pellets, what most people have been fishing a waggler or a bomb on. He's the only angler to see cast a method feeder out, and I know for a fact he's had at least 4 or 5 fish on that method feeder, and he's on it now. So yeah, quietly going about his business. What Sam does, he just powers away and catches fish. So, yeah, Sam's certainly in the mix when it comes to win. I think he's our current leader. I really do. I don't think there's anybody, I'm not going to say near to him, but he's definitely the current leader, I think, as it stands. Ben Bell, the other Maver sponsored angler, he's next to him. Ben's also caught some fish. He's chomping at the bit, or like close on Sam's tail, but Sam's just got the upper hand on him at this precise moment. Then we come into the middle spit. You've got 3 anglers there. You've got Jack Danby, you've got Mark Roger, you've also got Andy Power. Now, we know for a fact Mark Roger had got £40 or £40 plus, and Andy Power keeps his cards close to his chest, as Andy, but he's been fishing that waggler absolutely brilliantly, and we know he's had a few fish, and you can never work Andy Power out how he's going to fish it. He picks this rig up, he picks that rig up, and just keeps putting fish in his net. And looking as we stand now, he's started to feed his short lines and his edge lines and things like that, but you know, he'll soon be back on that waggler. So that really is Little Adams. This bank, that bank, that bank. You know, there's a potential leader on every bank of Little Adams. Then we come across on to Big Adams, and you've got Luke Bamford, Zach Warby-Smith and Jack Gill down the spit. Luke caught 2 or 3 carp early. He's putting all his eggs in one basket. He wants to try and catch down the edge, coming down to this bridge line here, and he's hoping they come down the edge. He's a paced angler, loves fishing pace, catches lots and lots of fish on that, and he's fishing to his strengths. So who knows with Luke. Over across on the Torn Bank, right at the very, very end, you've got Lee Thornton, Stephen Forster, Colin Scott, Matt York. They've all caught a few carp and are in the race, but they're starting to fall behind the leaders. And the best angler on that bank is Niall Evans on peg 18. Niall has got, I reckon, somewhere close to 45 to 50 pound. So he's pushing Sam. He's also pushing Jamie. And I don't know whether the camera may have picked up. There's a little bit of scum floating around on the top, and there's fish milling around in that scum, and he's picking them off as they come through it. So yeah, could be a real sort of silent assassin there, could Niall. And as long as he just keeps putting a few fish in the net, who knows. We come across onto a point, and I can see Steve Cook has just landed another fish on 68. Everybody wanted that peg this morning. 66 or 68 with the 2 pegs, permanent pegs, which is peg 19 and 20. I know Rob Holmes drawn 19 on the point. He's had a couple of fish, not really going mega for him at the minute, but I do know Steve Cook has started to put a few fish together, and like I said, I've just seen him put another one in the net now, so long way to go. Then you've got Paul Holland and Christian Jones here in Denver. I know Christian had caught some fish, and he's got in the region of 30 pounds, so a couple of fish either way, and they're back into it. And then you've got Andy Bennett and Paul Wright on these 2 pegs here, which we can see with the crowd at the back of them. Paul has initially tried to catch short, and I think he wanted a day when the fish were going to feed really, really short, but I just don't think it's gone that way with him. Andy Bennett, he's caught a few fish, but you know what? It's beggar. It's bagger. You know what he's like. He'll just magic some fish from somewhere at some late stage. So, who knows? So, there we have it. 2 hours, all the way around the lake. Lots of fish getting caught. Various different methods being employed by these anglers. The crowds are enjoying it, as you can see. Lots and lots of people on all banks catching this late summer weather, we should say, and seeing an angling extravaganza here at Maver Dynamite Hayfield Lakes. Everybody's waving to me. Look, here we go. So, let's see what happens as we get into the 3rd and 4th hour. Anything can happen. 2 big fish, you're back in the race. Let's see what happens. Right, well, here we have it. We're focusing on Andy Power, and we've got him down as current leader. He's certainly got in the region of £80. And what I must say, he is absolutely putting on a masterclass in pellet waggler fishing. The kid is just a machine at catching on a pellet waggler, and to watch him, it's just poetry in motion. As you've seen him now, he looks. Here we go, look. He's feeding his peg. He lifts that waggler in. He's constantly looking. He's just looking round all the time on his floor. He's not leaving it in long. Literally not leaving it in long. It's cast and feed. He has been the most active angler on this bank when it comes to a waggler. And I think it was just a matter of time before he lined them up. And this last hour and a half, he has absolutely come from, I'm not going to say 0 to hero, because he's just come from everywhere. And you'll find he throws past his pellets, he throws on his pellets, he comes this side of like pellets where he's feeding. He's gone past his pellets, twitched it into his pellets, repeat the procedure. Just an awesome display of waggler fishing. And it's not easy today. It's certainly not easy. It's a tricky wind that's on Hayfield today. It's one of them real sort of skatey type winds, what like pick your line up and pull your waggler off course where you want it to be. Constantly working his waggler, twitching, moving, feeding, twitching, feeding, casting. Always looking for that ultimate control. And they're just not easy carp to catch. They've seen it a million times, and it's just a case of fooling one and tricking one into taking your falling pellet. And Andy's the best at it. He really is. He's fished so many finals here at Hayfield as Andy. I think it was only a matter of time before he was going to put his name on one up here, and potentially it could be today. Although we've still got a bit of time left, all to play for. But well, here we have it, a tale of two halves. You can see Andy Bennett here, Paul Wright, two pegs what were really fancied, and it's not really come to the fore today for him on here. You can see the lake's a lot calmer over here. A lot of fish milling about on the top, but I don't think them fish are feeding on the top. They're all trying to catch him shallow. You've got Paul Holland in the distance now. He's fishing a bomb. It's been very hard work, especially in this corner here. But Paul's got to only hope that some fish come down his edge now here to make any difference. Even the point pegs over there, what you can see of, yeah, some fish have been caught, but it's not been prolific, and I think it's just solely down to the wind and everything. Lovely ripple on Little Adams, not so much a ripple here. It's just making for harder fishing. Well, the pegs everybody fancied this morning, or certainly all the anglers, 66, 68 permanent pegs over there. As you can see, both are now playing fish. Steve Cook with the blue nets here on, and just picking his landing net up now, ready to net a fish. And Robert Ohm right on the point. The lad in the green t-shirt is our blocker to stop any fish coming from in that way, giving him an unfair advantage. Cook is about to land his. There we have it, got it, look. So Steve's landed his, and I'm sure Robert's side of him, he's playing a fish right now. You could have asked any one of these anglers this morning, and they really fancied both those two pegs. And as it stands, they've caught some fish, but they're just not really catching enough, and just to keep in with the current leaders here on this lake, be Andy Power and Sam Brown. Now you can see there we're on Sam Brown now, and he's actually now gone down his margins, and caught well to start with, caught some fish shallow, then had a really good run on a method feeder where he put some fish in his net. But I did have my fears for Sam there, because I think there were some fish there, and they tend to move out towards the middle of the lake, and he's had an indifferent hour when it's come hard for him. But you can see he's got a little bit of room. He's got a bit of room down his edge, so he's going to be hoping for an arrival at some point down that edge going into the last hour, when we all know what edge fishing's like. You can come from nowhere and just come back with a massive run last off, and take home that check and trophy. Yep, here we go. Ben Bell side of Sam Brown has some fish, made a sudden late surge over there on the Torn Bank. Trying to coax that angry carp into his net. There we go. Has he got it? Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Well done, Sam Brown. That is the first margin fish I've seen caught with this next good fish as well. That really, really good. So, is Sam Brown going to make a late charge like he did when he finished second in Fishermania 2 years ago? Come from nowhere to finishing second. All to play for. Right, well, we are right at the back of Sam Brown, aka Ted Bundy, and like we said earlier, he is a silent assassin, and suddenly he is back in the race. And back in the race, I mean, he's caught some margin fish. So, whereas we thought Andy Power were potentially going to start to run away with it, Mr. Brown himself has decided to throw the cat among the pigeons and catch some carp down his edge. He has lost one big fish down his edge, but he's also had 3 or 4 more. So there seems to be a little bit of a shootout between Andy Power and Sam Brown. Right, there you can see Andy Power, there he is, 33 peg permanent. We think he is the current leader, but it's very close between him and Sam Brown. Right, Jamie Hughes, there you can see he's been sat there all day. He's caught some carp. He spent a fair bit of time catching silverfish as well. Don't happen to know what they're going to weigh, silverfish, but he's trying to catch a carp now. But is he still in the race? We've also got Jimmy Brooks. Now, Jimmy Brooks started really well and seems to have petered out, but rumours come back that he's still somewhere there or thereabouts. Bankside whispers are telling us he's in with a shout still, so all to play for. You can see looking at the lakes, there's a few people now feeding down the edges. Jimmy Brooks certainly is. Sam Brown's caught some fish down the edges, and what has surprised me, not a lot of people have come to fish that short line. They've not fished that short 5-6 metre line. They've persevered on doing what they've done through the day, but anybody who's got a little bit of room started to feed the margins. Is it going to pay off for them? The pegs everybody fancied this morning, or certainly all the anglers, 66, 68 permanent pegs over there. As you can see, both are now playing fish. Steve Cook with the blue nets here on, and just picking his landing net up now, ready to net a fish. And Robert Holm right on the point. The lad in the green t-shirt is our blocker to stop any fish coming from in that way, giving him an unfair advantage. Cook is about to land his. There we have it, got it, look. So Steve's landed his, and I'm sure Robert, side of him, he's playing a fish right now. You could have asked any one of these anglers this morning and they really fancied both those 2 pegs. And as it stands, they've caught some fish, but they're just not really catching enough. And just to keep in with the current leaders here on this lake, be Andy Power and Sam Brown. There you go, Sam Brown. Margin masterclass in action here. Got one. Nailed it. I'm going to stick my neck out here and say I think 2022 champion, if he gets this fish in, is going to be Sam Brown. I really do. Andy Power just don't seem to be catching any fish now this last hour. He's persevered on that waggler. And I think them fish are now wanting to come into the edges to start feeding. And he's took advantage of this as Sam. So let's hope this stays on for him. Oh, it's in. Get in. There you go. It's got to be a good 7-8 pound, that. Andy Power's got a fish now as well. We always seem to have a ding-dong battle going into the last half hour, and Andy Power's just had a fish and lost it. Sam Brown's just put one in the nets. So, lost fish is going to cost somebody thousands upon thousands of pounds today. He's persevered with that waggler so much, Andy Power, this last. It's the first fish I've seen him hook for a long time. Right, well, we said somebody might come with a late charge, and it could be happening, we think, possibly on Big Adams. And Stephen Forster, local lad, well back by the bookie, has started to catch a few fish. Just been talking to his boss who he works for at Aston Park Angling, and he says he's the only angler who's catching any fish on there, and he's playing a fish now as we speak. This bank's been a little bit inconsistent today on Big Adams. So Stephen seems to be coming back with a bit of a late run. 9-11's caught early, and it just seems to have dropped off. But that's fishing. It's the luck of the draw. We're not going to feed in every peg, and I'm sure these guys will be back next year trying to qualify again. Right, you can see the two lads on the point there, Rob Holm and Steve Cook. They really fancied their draw this morning, and I think if you'd have asked any of these guys today, they'd have gone on them pegs on that point. It was a much favoured area, but it's just not produced. They've just not wanted to feed. Really moody. I think we've definitely got some storms coming in tonight. Big weather change, and just seems to have knocked them for six a little bit over there. But again, it's fishing. That's why it's called fishing and not catching. Here we go, three lads all into fish. One short, one shallow, one on a waggler or a bomb. It's definitely a rod. So fish are suddenly playing. We need another hour at it, John. And just looking back, it looks like Sam Brown has just had another carp from down his margins. Andy Power, we can't really see him at the minute. Whether he's had any more fish this last hour, don't know. It's all going to go down to Bob and the scales. Who's going to be 2022 Match This champion? About right.
Just go. And there's 5 minutes left.
Yeah, shall we? And now there's 5 minutes left. People playing fish here on Big Adams. Has Sam Brown got enough time to catch another margin fish?
Go.
Right, here we go, Andy Power. What did we say? 5 minutes to go. He's got a fish. Sam Brown has just put another fish in the net. It's like tennis. Here we go, 5 minutes. It's just come up over the tannoy. Andy Power is playing that fish. I spoke to Andy's bankman earlier. He's already lost a fish, £10 plus, but he's got that one. So is that going to be the fish that puts Andy Power's name for the second time on this illustrious trophy? Or is it Maver's own Sam Brown, who's put in an absolute margin masterclass this last hour? Is it going to be his name on the trophy? Only Bob can tell us when the weighing happens in about 5 minutes' time. Well, there's now 3 minutes to go. And you can see we're focused here on Sam Brown. We can see fish in his edge. He's got fish in his edge. But can he nail another just to be MMT champion? Absolutely perfect example of margin fishing. He's fishing right over the back of that platform. He's keeping as much pull away from them shy fish as he possibly can, and you can see him, the odd fish start coming in and swirling. They think everybody's buggered off this bank now and they're having a feed. They're coming in, mopping up some pellets and corn which Sam's put in. The wind's absolutely perfect for this bank and he's took full advantage of it. Here we go, that's it, that's the final hooter. Who's going to be crowned 2022 champion at Maver Dynamite Hayfield Lakes? I can't really call it. It's a really close one between Andy Power. Could he be the first angler to put his name on our trophy twice from back in 2011? Or is it Serial Killer Sam, as we call him, who's going to take and put his name on the trophy? He thoroughly deserves it. He's qualified for numerous finals. Right, well here we are, back at Jamie Hughes weighing in. He's already had two. He's had £30 of perch and roach. We said he were catching silverfish, and now he's weighing in some carp. He thinks he's a couple of carp short. We'll get down there and have a little. He's saying to life that he wanted another couple of bites. Should we move down? Here we go, final weigh. Well done, Jamie. We don't know what it. 90. £95, 13 ounces. I don't think you won fish off. I think this is closer to what you think, Mr.
Horrible, isn't it, Andrew?
It's going to be terrible.
Oh.
I'll tell you what, them perch could be worth 50 grand today because I'm telling you now, they have both clicked £92.
Full of it. They're both fibbing, aren't they? They both fib, especially Power. They fib. He'll have 100. No, I'll be happy with third hand.
I don't know. I think it's going to be closer than what you think, Jamie. I think you have just put yourself right in among the mix.
We shall see. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Again, another one who could be having a choice.
Well, we did call it. We knew he got some fish. We didn't think he got £95, so it just goes to show, doesn't it? So, Jamie Hughes, has he just put one hand on the trophy? So, we'll see. We're going to get round there and see what the others weigh in. Right. Well, here we are behind Jimmy Brooks. He was like well up there with the early leaders, but I think as we've just been talking to Jimmy, it's really, really slowed up for him. I think the fish have pushed across the lake from him, and he's just said to us he's hoping he can win the section. 41-3. Here we go, Jim. It's got a bit hard for you this afternoon, mate.
Yeah, started off well. There was a few fish about early on, and the last 2 hours just completely died. I think the wind has slightly turned, just turned that way a little bit, and it's just made Sam's peg's been brilliant the last couple of hours. Mine's just died. Really.
£78 one, £93 winning it. A few more bites, that could be anybody.
It's tight. It's what you want, isn't it? It's a nice, good, tight match. That's all you can ask for, isn't it?
Well, if Jamie Frame's you're going to win your section, mate, another 750 quid better than a day at work.
Try to,
Yeah. Well done, Jim. Well done, mate. Right, here we are, back of Sam Brown. Jamie Hughes, £95. This could be very, very, very close. First way, here we go.
First way, £13.10.
13.10 first way for Sam. There's only 0 in him, Sam. Right, here we go. Sam's second way. Carp again. Right, here we go. Second weight. Let's get across the bob.
Second way, £26.
£26 second way. What we got here? £39.10 so far. Hope he's, well, another 2 nets, yeah. I hope he's got fish in them both, has he? He's talking to Mark, his bank run, he's got £60 he reckons in these 2 nets, hopefully. It's got to go to the wire. There's £30 here. Here we go, third way for Sud and Sam. Let's get in here with Bob.
Third way, £31.15.
£31.15, nearly £32, so that makes it 32.71, does it? We're up to 70. £71.9 with 1 more net. I think he needs 25 to take the lead, is it? Well, Ian, come on, do your maths quick, Ian. Come on, Ian, do your maths quick. He needs £25, does he, to take the lead? Oh, this is getting tense. It's close, I think he's going to do it. Richard, you want to do it on that mat if you want. You can do a photo on that mat, Bob, can't you? Here we go, his final way. Needs £25 to take over the lead from Jamie Hughes. Paul the scalesman says he's got it. What's Bob the reader?
Fourth way, £26.12.
£26.12, that just takes it. Sam, get yourself foot. Hey, Paul.
A photo.
Paul, he wants a photo. You want to get round there, John? Could Sam Brown? Sam Brown is our new leader. Could he put his name on the trophy? There's only one angler we think can possibly take it. It's Andy Power.
Unless someone
Well, Mr. Sam Brown, what more can I say? You just put a stunning margin performance in.
Yeah, that was the plan all along, really. Wherever we drew, we're hoping to catch a few fish out the edge in the last hour and a half. They were coming in on a lot of the practice matches. We worked out a bit of a tactic for them, and thankfully it's paid off today, and they've come in. Not in big numbers, you really had to sit and wait, but yeah, just big fish. So.
Well, we've watched you for this last hour, and we've seen you've been patient. You've nailed a few. There's even some down there now. Look, having a look. So your lovely wife Harriet, who's here watching you, she's watched you all along. You're proud of him?
Very proud, yeah. Can't be more prouder, yeah. So he's done ever so well, yeah.
He's not a bad lad. He catches a few fish, doesn't he, Steve? Catches a few fish. But no, we don't know whether you've won it, Sam. We hope you have, mate. We think there's only one person who can touch you, and that's going to be Andy Power over there. So you can walk round with us and watch the weigh-in, and then we'll know you can both walk round with us. So, right, who's it going to be? Andy Power or Sam Brown? The scales will tell us. Andy Power, what a stunning performance, mate. Well done. An absolute pellet waggler masterclass.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I knew it was really close. I still think I'm one fish behind, but we'll find out in a minute.
Well, you're one fish behind and everybody else is one fish. Listen, if you're saying there's one fish behind, it's going to be really, really close. We know you've clicked £92 on your clicker. He'd clicked £92. Went 98.
Yeah, I've clicked 92, but I didn't click my last fish, so I don't. Who knows?
Well, if it is
I've tried to go over because there's a net limit, so if I've caught a £6, I've gone like £7, but I don't know.
Oh, this is really going to be tight now then. So, well, the only thing I can say to you, Andy, is good luck. And the scales will decide the final outcome, whether you're 2022 match this champion even. Good luck, mate. Yeah. Right, come on, guys. Who's won it? Is it Andy Power? Is it Sam Brown? Who's your money on? Power. Oh, they're all backing Powers. Is he going to do it? It's close. Right, here we are. Here we are. Andy Power, we think it's possibly this one who could beat Sam. Let's get into Bob.
First weigh £17.3.
First weigh £17.3.
£35.3.
£35.3, second weight. Well, I think this is his last net, and I think it's going to go that wire.
Third weigh £34.7.
£34.7, third weigh. Let's just get the add up. £86.13 ounces. £86.13, Sam. It's not 100% sure. Well done, Sam. Brilliant. Go shake Andy Power's hand.
I'm going to,
yeah, go up to him. Well, Andy, you called it short, mate. You were right. You were just a couple of fish short.
Yeah, I said I was being a bit careful with the nets, so yeah, I was probably £1 short on each fish. So.
Well, never mind. Listen, you've stunning performance, mate. It was brilliant to watch, and I feel sure you're going to frame with that. I really do. So, well done, and you'll be back another year. You're here every year.
Yeah, why not? Give it a go.
Brilliant.
Well done, mate. Brilliant performance.
Not Sam. Not Sam. Oh, we haven't finished yet. You get loads of this now. Well, we think you are.
You could do with putting these on.
Put them back on.
My eyes on.
Put them back on.
Can my grandson have a photo with me?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Won yet.
Here we go. We don't know if he's won yet, but here we go.
Yet.
All these people want to get round Sam. We think. Get out of the way.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, we think he might have won. Sam Brown.
Yeah, we don't know. We'll see if there's any surprises on Big Adams.
We don't think there's going to be any surprises on Big Adams, but I think you might be 2022 champion. But as soon as we get round, we'll make it official.
Basically, yeah, pretty much.
Have you got your swimming trunks with you?
Yeah. Change the clothes.
Well done, Sam. Great performance, mate. Really, really good.
Cheers, Andy.
So in third place from Peg 10 with £86.13, Andy Power. Third position, Andy Power. Trust me, he'll be back. He will be back, I can assure you of that. Which leads us to our runner-up. Probably the worst place to finish in a big final, but he is walking away with £5,000. And £5,000 don't cushion the blow because he's runner-up, but he's a 3 times Fishermania champion. He nearly had his name on the trophy for a second time. So there's no 2 names the same on that trophy, but he nearly got it. But with a weight of £95.13, the ever-consistent Jamie Hughes. The runner-up, Jamie Hughes. Well, as the famous line went in Highlander film, there can be only one. And there is only one. There's only one winner today. And he will be the new 2022 Maver Match This champion. Can he defend his title next year? Who knows? But winning today with a weight of £98.5, and what I might say, this kid is a serial finalist. He's a serial killer when it comes to winning, well, not winning finals, but getting into finals. And it was only a matter of time before that lad put his name on that trophy. And we watched him today, and like I say, he put in an absolutely stunning margin masterclass last off. So with a weight of £98.5 and new 2022 Match This champion, Sam Brown!
Carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, but don't let it make you older. They say, settle me down when I can't see the truth now, when the distance is so loud from here to home. I'm not scared of the dark no more. I'm not running away like I did before. I will bend, I will break for love. I'm not scared, I'm not scared. Draw the light in from every shore, on the lines of some holy war. I'm not running away no more, no more. Oh,
There we have it. 2022 Match This champion. What else can I say? Maver's own Sam Brown. Well done, young man.
Thank you very much, Andy. Yeah, just can't believe it, really. Finally. Fifth time lucky.
Yeah, finally. I can't speak highly enough of this man. He qualifies for numerous finals. He's in another final next week. You better win that one as well. But he qualifies for numerous finals. And I said a long, long time ago when I first met Sam that he's destined for big things in angling, and he's finally proved it today. Your bank runner Mark, sat at side of you, Mark. Give us a performance.
Well, he started mega like mugging. They just moved in front of him and he's clattered them early, which you need, don't you? You need a good start. And then middle bit was a bit wonky, weren't it, Sam? And his head was wobbling a bit, and I've sort of
Probably an hour and a half for nothing, really.
and kept his head, and then he's had a visit down the edge, and job done, weren't it?
That's it. The game plan was to always have a good finish down the edge. Last hour and a half in practice that had worked, and it just paid off again today. Yeah, it really did.
Well, like I always say in angling, no matter how you start, it's how you finish. And trust me, this guy, when it comes to margin fishing, produced an absolute masterclass on the bank. It was so close between you and Andy Power. Or did you think he'd won it?
I thought Power had got more, to be honest. I'm really surprised at Jamie's weight. He's done phenomenal, hasn't he, to get that weight of silvers as well. Didn't think he'd have got anywhere near that, but yeah, I really genuinely thought Power had done it, but I can't believe it, yeah.
Well, he just tried to sneak up on the rails, but guess what? Like a sprinter, he stuck his neck out at the end, caught them fish down the edge, mullered a few, nailed a few, 50 grand richer. What more can I say? Current Match This 2022 champion, Mr. Sam Brown.
Yes, cheers.
I bow to you. Here's our champion.
Thank
Well
you.
done, sir.
Well done, mate.
I'll be brave and draw the